It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a very popular theory when it comes to who will be taking on Rick's comic storyline in the TV version. And this popular theory suggests that Aaron is the one that's going to be taking that story on, assuming that they're not going to skip the story and they're actually going to do it. Now, before we actually dive deep into this, if you're not a comic reader and don't want to know this information, you may want to click away, because what I'm about to say may or may not happen in the TV show, but if it does, then what I'm going through will definitely spoil a lot of the story and the big moments for you in season 11. So if you don't want to know anything, then I suggest you click away from this video and watch one of our other discussion videos that doesn't have any comic spoilers in it. So with that said, stay tuned. We'll be right back to break this theory down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, if you're not a subscriber and enjoy the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. We're actually on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so if you're not a subscriber and enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe to help me get to that mark. Also, one final thing. As you may know, YouTube has been running automatic bots that removes subscribers that are not active. So because of that, my channel has seen a significant drop in the last few weeks, and I think the reason for that is because there's not a lot of comments, because we're not really in Walking Dead season as of yet. So because of that, YouTube's automatic bots are removing the subscribers, hence why the subscriber count is going down significantly. So if you are a subscriber, make sure to check to see if you're still a subscriber. If you aren't, then that's probably because you've been dropped, and you can obviously subscribe back. But what you can also do is make frequent comments so that the YouTube bots don't assume you're inactive. With that, let's just dive right into this video. So obviously, when it comes to Rick's comic storyline, there's really two big pieces to the storyline itself. But other than the two pieces, because we don't have Rick in the TV version anymore, he's gone. If we take a look at what Rick looked like in the comic version, Aaron looks pretty much exactly like Rick. He lost his arm, he has the mechanical arm now, just like Rick lost his arm. Obviously, they lost their arms in two different storylines. In the comics, it was the governor that cut off Rick's arm, but obviously in the show, Aaron was just in an accident, and that's why he lost his arm. So the circumstances are different, but at the end of the day, looking at Rick, Aaron looks exactly like Rick in the comics. So visually speaking, the only person that makes sense to get Rick's arc is Aaron, because he looks exactly the same. Now with that, let's talk about the storyline. So like I said, there's two big pieces to Rick's final storyline in the comic version, and everything kind of works hand in hand. Let's go through everything that happens that leads to Rick's final moment. And by this final moment, I'm referring to him becoming a statue at the Commonwealth. So obviously when the group gets to Commonwealth, it's Rick that's actually hopeful. He's optimistic about the community. He's trying to make it work. Even though there's some tension within the group, people disagree with him, he still has hope that they can make things work with Commonwealth. Obviously, he has no choice. In the comic book at that time, the Alexandria safe zone was destroyed, or it was just about destroyed. They are following that same kind of arc in the show as well, because we see Alexandria is deteriorating. So we know that they're probably going that same direction when it comes to what Alexandria looks like and how inhabitable it is. But going back to what I said, Rick is hopeful about the community, and that hope and that desperation is exactly what leads him to execute one of the survivors, Dwight, who is in his camp. In the comics, Dwight was actually Rick's right-hand man. And the reason why Rick killed Dwight is because Dwight didn't agree with Rick on how to handle the Commonwealth, and he wasn't as optimistic about the Commonwealth and the fact that they could be changed for the better. So he took an opportunity and he threatened the Commonwealth's leader, Pamela Milton. And obviously, to diffuse the situation, Rick executed Dwight. He actually did more than diffuse the situation. He actually made an extreme decision which made things a lot worse. But what Rick did, executing one of his own team members, was actually the trigger or the catalyst to why Sebastian did what he did. Sebastian, Pamela Milton's son, already didn't like this group. He had a problem with them. And in the comics, he was a little brat. And obviously, being called out for that didn't really sit well with him. But aside from that whole thing, what Rick did made Sebastian see the survivors as a threat. He saw Rick as someone who could blow at any moment, a person who wasn't predictable, someone who could take over if he wanted to at any moment, you know what I mean? So because of that, Sebastian came up with this plan to kill Rick while he was sleeping. And obviously, he was able to do it. He did execute Rick Grimes. And what happened after that, the events that followed, put Commonwealth in a state of chaos. And it led to a civil war or a mini civil war within the Commonwealth itself, which obviously at the end led to the survivors taking over and leading the Commonwealth in a way that they saw fit and in a way that they didn't think that Lance Hornsby and Pamela Milton were running things before. And because of that, Rick became a symbol. He became the symbol of fighting back against the oppressors, and he became a monument for freedom. Hence why they built his statue at the Commonwealth. This is the final moment of Rick's story in the comic book. He became a statue. He became a monument of freedom, like I said. Now, let's backtrack. The first thing I said about Rick being optimistic about the community does definitely fit with the story that we see with Aaron, the story that they have built up. If we take a look at what Aaron told Father Gabriel in one of the bonus episodes of season 10, he brought up the fact that it's been a long time since they helped people. And he wanted to go back to that. He wanted to start helping people again. And he wanted to start doing the right thing again and not just surviving. So he didn't want it to become a survival of the fittest type of society or environment. So I could definitely see Aaron being in a state of mind to want to be hopeful about the Commonwealth and try to make things work. As much as he sees the flaws with the community and the leadership at the Commonwealth. So that first part of the story definitely lines up. Aaron could definitely get Rick's story up to this point. Here's where things get a little tricky, because at this point, I don't see Aaron doing something as extreme as Rick Grimes, executing someone within his own camp. Now, who that person is, who may be executed, is up for debate. Negan is a big candidate. A lot of people think that he might be the one that gets Dwight comic death. And if that happens, that does kind of make it easier to see Aaron executing Negan, because Negan and Aaron already had a back and forth in season 9 and they have like a history together as well. And let's not forget, Aaron was in the Negan lineup as well. So if that happens, then I could kind of see things getting to a point where Aaron executes Negan to keep the peace. But if it's not Negan that takes Dwight's death, I don't see Aaron executing anyone else within the group. Maybe Alden, that could be another one, but that's a little bit of a stretch as well. But let's assume that this part of the story also fits. It's perfectly realistic for Aaron to execute one of the survivors. Let's assume that it suits the story. Then after that, I don't see them doing the Rick death the same way. It just wouldn't feel the same. Aaron is not Rick. They're totally different characters with a different impact on the story. It'll be underwhelming if they have Aaron be executed by Sebastian, just like Rick was, and for them to make Aaron the statue and make him the symbol of freedom. It would feel cheap to me. So I hope they don't do it. I am definitely interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. Do you think they are giving Rick's comic story to Aaron? And how much of that do you think they're gonna give to him? Also, let me know who else you think could fit that death. Both the Dwight execution death and also the Rick execution death. So share your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.